Some of you thin ass tricks don't have enough ass to keep the pussy off the sheet.
But to go off of the GOAT shit, my next definition is trash.
You want to talk about the quality of shit now? Okay, I was about to start with classic. But we can go.
Yeah.
Shit, cause that's the next three I was about to get to: classic, trash, and then mid. Talk about stuff being mid. Which one you want to start with first? Trash.
Let's go with classic. Now, y'all got the definition of classic so fucked up. I'm gonna be real. I must be so honest with you. Playboy Cardi just dropped Whole Lotta Red. It's some motherfuckers already calling that shit a classic, bro. It does not take 3 fucking months for an album to become a classic. Yo, there are the albums I would consider a classic. Illmatic. Recovery. You know what I'm saying?
You already lost me. Recovery. All right, I don't know. I guess I give it to you, but all right. I just want to expect you. I was expecting you to say all old shit, like Biggie's Ready to Die, like All Eyes on Me by Pot. You said you skipped from 96 Illmatic to 2010 Recovery. That shit threw me a hard hell.
I was getting there, bro. I just had to say Eminem's before I lost it. But Illmatic. Let's go Late Registration. Let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go, fuck, I was about to say one of T.I.'s albums. Let's be real here. Let's go 50 Cent, bro. Let's go, yeah. A fucking, you know what I'm saying, 50 Cent's classic ass album. Let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go, yeah, Biggie, yeah, Big, you know, Notorious, B.I.G. Let's go his album. Let's go with Tupac and his shit. The albums that went diamond, those are fucking certified classics. If we want to go recent, we go 2010 shit. Let's go with I was gonna say Travis Scott. Ha ha ha. Y'all almost got me. Let's go with Drake's Nothing Was the Same. Let's go with Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. Or let's go with
albums pretty much.
Yeah. If we're being real, To Pimp a Butterfly. Damn is not even that old. And even when time passes, it will be considered a classic because people are still playing it to this day. Just because something is being played all the time right now, all that means is it's popular today. But if motherfuckers, I don't hear nobody playing Panda no more. Designer shit is not popular no more. It's not a classic. It's a one-hit fucking wonder. No one's playing Panda on the radio no more unless it's in the club. Sure, you can actually regard that as a classic because, okay, it's a novelty. It's an anthem. Motherfuckers still playing it to this day. A song or something from a specific amount of time, still getting played today is a classic. I think with time passes, and that's something that's timeless, something that can still be played in any era. If it's 2020 and we're still listening to the Beatles, clearly whatever that is that's been played is a classic. Not everything from that person's discography is going to get played because not everything's a classic. So I'm going to listen to Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to listen to Blueprint or something like that, and I'm going to listen to something off of there, and it's like, okay, all right, classic. Whatever they're playing is a classic. That's it.
Is that because you actually enjoy the album, or you just saying that? Because everybody else thinks it's a classic. You had to think about that one.
No. The specific I'm just picking a specific Jay-Z album just to say, but or all them people, just specific things that were long as fuck ago. But y'all talking about Uzi and the Eternal Take and what's the name? I heard somebody say that what's the name? That'll be a classic, Prices or some shit. Like, bro, you literally picked a random ass fucking song off that. Like, if you think it's gonna be a classic, go ahead. It's a classic in your heart. The world does not share your opinion, and don't fucking fight people for having a different opinion than you do. Like, serious, it's not like Whole Lotta Red is not a fucking. He couldn't even drop the fucking thing on time. How is it a classic, dude?
I will say my definition of a classic is something that's either the most impactful, the most significant, or the most popular within whatever category that we're talking about. I don't want to say that it applies for everything. It depends on the exact scenario. An example I can give is like individual songs for like a rapper. Like there's rappers that have some old school songs where we'd be like, okay, like for this rapper, it's a classic. Like it's one of like it was one of his best songs or one of his like most chill songs when he first came out. You look at it now, you're like, all right, I wouldn't say it's a classic of all time rap, but it's a classic for this person. Like who your favorite rapper is? Oh, J. Cole. So for J. Cole, I will say that Nobody's Perfect with Missy Elliott is a classic for him. What's that one line nigga said at the end? Like she said she only fuck about 4 or 5 niggas, so you got to multiply by 3.
Got multiply by 3.
And then like I would say that song is a J. Cole classic. When you think about his early career, first coming up and shit, you're like, yeah, that was like one of the songs that everybody loved by that nigga. You're like, blah blah blah. But then when you think about overall hip hop, like hell no. Like if somebody told me to name like a classic hip hop song overall, hell no, I wouldn't name that song. But if somebody was to tell me to name some classic J. Cole tracks, yeah, I'll throw that in there.
So we talking about greatest hits from a specific artist, then yeah, no, that's specific. That's like, okay, name bops, pretty much is how that question sounds. So if someone said name a classic from DaBaby, that's gonna sound weird because he's relatively a newer artist. But
yeah, that word wouldn't apply to him. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? If I say something like, oh, Suge, or you know what I'm saying, Rockstar or some shit like that. I mean, that's one of his best songs. It's been some time since Suge dropped, but it's not a classic. But the question is misconstrued because it's like, okay, what's one of his greatest hits? So I get it. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I look at shit because I look at it as like specific scenarios or specific like events instead of looking at every word as like an overall universal thing. I look at it in particular ways because. Yeah, when you think about individual songs, you'd be like, yeah, this song is a classic for this person. But when you think about the same thing for the albums that you were saying, like a person will hear classic and immediately think about the most popular rap albums of all time, like some Outkast shit, or like you said, all of the Diamond albums from the Nellies to the 50 Cents. But then you got to think about mixtapes too, bro. There are so many great mixtapes in the universe. Cushion OJ by Wiz Khalifa, classic mixtape. Is it like super popular? Like it's not like one of the most highest selling albums of all time, or something like that. But it's not. That don't mean like it's not a classic because it's not something like super popular that a nigga named Tanner would know about. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep saying Tanner from Montana. That's like my go-to white person. But just because a nigga named Tanner out of Montana don't know about it, don't mean it's not a classic.
This man said Tanner from Montana. Man,
I didn't even see the alliteration in that shit, but yeah,
that sounds like some shit. That sounds like some shit Buckley would say. You know, when he was doing his one series.
Nobody asked for.
I forget what he was. Yeah, he would say Molly something in Mississippi or something.
I thought that was the advice someone asked for a series. Yeah.
That shit was funny as shit. But
I think for me though, yeah, when it comes to like the regional rappers, I was talking about like back to the Snoop Dogg and then the Payroll Giovanni shit, and then when it comes to individual songs, I feel like people when they hear the word classic and legend, they immediately shoot to popularity. Be like, how can this person be a legend, or how can this song be a classic if ain't nobody heard of it? I'm like, nigga, just because you don't know what it is, don't mean it's not a classic, bro.
True.
And mixtapes is the easy example of that. Like something can. When it comes to mixtapes, definitely a mixtape not gonna be no super popular shit that everybody in the world know about, but definitely still a classic. The next the term, because yeah, that's my thing. That's my definition for classic. I feel like there could definitely be individual songs. Oh, you know what? This is a good thing about classic too that I can say. A person not liking a particular song or a particular album doesn't make it not a classic. Let's say shit. Let me name a more recent album. Not no 90s shit. Let me think. Now I want to think of some 2000 shit instead of 90s. Let's say
the Carter.
Let's say the Eminem Show. Let's say the Eminem Show. Eminem Show definitely is a classic. One of Eminem's biggest albums. I think it's the highest selling rap album of all time, like 32 million. But here's my thing: a person could literally listen to the Eminem Show and say, I don't like this album. Like I listened to like all 15 songs. This shit is whack. That don't make it not a classic just because that person didn't like it. Like whether you like it or not is beside the point. It's still one of the biggest albums of all time. One of the biggest albums of Eminem's career and his best album, according to a lot of people. A nigga can listen to that whole album and say every single song is trash. That doesn't make it not a classic.
Yeah, that's an opinion. I think classics are, if you say something is a classic, it has to be a fact. Like a defined worldwide classic, that's a fact. It can't even be an opinion at that point, because if the radio's still playing it, if it's still on the charts, you know, if an album that's old is still on the charts, like Drake, The Views or some shit, for instance, or whatever, that's a classic. I don't care if the general public is saying that's one of Drake's fucking weakest albums. If it's still on the fucking Billboard and some of the songs are still being talked about to this day and being played, like One Dance, that shit still gets played in grocery stores and on the radio on occasion. And that came from the Views album, and the Views album still on the Billboard 200. It's still kind of heavy on the Billboard 200. I don't care if the public says it's not a good album. It's literally a classic. It has to be a classic. If that's a weak fucking album from Drake and it's still a classic, and niggas are still shitting on Drake, by the way, we're gonna get into that later, bro, because y'all be tripping on Drake. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's an overhated motherfucker.